Before we get started, please like and subscribe. Let me know where you're watching from, and you can support the channel by clicking thanks or joining. My name is Daniel Harper, and Christmas used to be the safest time of the year for me. The streets felt quieter, the nights felt warmer, even when snow covered everything. People smiled more, houses glowed softly from within. For most of my life, I believed nothing truly bad could happen on Christmas. That belief died the year the angel on top of our tree turned its head. It started as a harmless tradition. Every December, my wife Emily insisted on decorating the house the same way. The same lights, the same ornaments, the same music playing softly in the background, and always the same angel placed carefully at the very top of the tree. It was old, porcelain face, pale painted skin, small gold wings that flaked slightly at the edges. We bought it at a local thrift store during our first Christmas together. Emily said it felt right, like it belonged to us. That first night we decorated the tree, I remember standing back and admiring it. The angel faced forward toward the living room. Its hands were folded. Its eyes were calm and empty in the way cheap decorations often are. I took a photo with my phone. The image would later become something I wished I had never saved. The house was quiet that night. Snow fell outside in heavy, slow flakes. Emily went to bed early. I stayed up watching television with the lights dimmed. At some point, I felt a strange pressure at the back of my neck. That feeling you get when someone is watching you. I laughed it off. Old houses make noises. Shadows play tricks. Christmas decorations reflect light in odd ways. When I finally turned off the television and stood up, I looked at the tree again. The angel was no longer facing forward. Its head had turned slightly to the left. Not much, just enough that its eyes now pointed toward the hallway that led to the bedrooms. I stood there for a long time staring at it. My first thought was simple. The tree must have shifted. The branch might have bent. The angel was light. It could rotate if nudged. I reached up and adjusted it back into place. I made sure it was secure. Then I went to bed. The next morning, Emily asked me if I had moved the angel. She said it looked different. I told her no. We laughed about it. Christmas nerves. Too much coffee. Too little sleep. That night it happened again. This time I noticed it immediately. I was sitting on the couch reading when I glanced up and felt my stomach drop. The angel had turned farther than before. Its head was angled sharply now. Its gaze pointed directly at the closed bedroom door. I stood slowly. I remember my heart pounding in my ears. I did not touch it this time. Instead, I took another photo. I wanted proof, something solid, something real. The camera flash reflected off the porcelain face, and for a brief moment, the eyes looked wet. I told Emily. She tried to stay calm. She said maybe one of us was sleepwalking. Maybe the heat from the lights warped the branch. She suggested we remove the angel. I refused. I do not know why. A part of me felt like touching it again would be a mistake. Like moving it back would invite something worse. That night I dreamed of standing in our living room alone. The tree lights were off. The house was dark. I could hear breathing behind me, but I could not turn around. The angel was no longer on the tree. It was standing on the floor directly behind me. Its wings scraped against the carpet as it leaned closer. I woke up screaming. The next day, I installed a camera in the living room. I told myself this was ridiculous, but I needed to know. I needed to see it move or prove that it did not. The footage showed nothing. Hours passed. The tree stood still. The angel did not move, not even a flicker. Yet every morning the angle of its head was different, always slightly more, always pointing somewhere new. First the hallway, then the front door, then the window. On December 21st, I noticed something that made my hands shake. The angel was no longer looking inside the house. It was staring out the window toward the snow-covered yard. That was the night the footprints appeared. They came from the tree line at the back of our property. Deep, heavy impressions in the snow, too large to be human. They stopped directly beneath the living room window. The angel watched them. Emily cried. She begged me to call the police. I did. They found nothing. No tracks by the time they arrived. No signs of forced entry. Just a tree, a window, and an angel staring into the dark. That night as I lay awake, I heard something outside. Slow, measured footsteps crunching through snow. They circled the house, paused, moved on. I did not sleep. On Christmas Eve, the angel turned its head one final time. It looked straight at me. That was when I understood. The angel was not watching the thing outside. It was warning me, and whatever it was had finally noticed me too. After the angel turned its head toward me on Christmas Eve, I stopped believing in coincidences. Something fundamental had shifted inside the house. The walls felt thinner. The silence felt intentional. Even during the day, the living room carried a weight that pressed against my chest like a held breath. Emily avoided the tree entirely. She would not look at it. She would not pass beneath it. She slept with the bedroom door locked and the lights on. I tried to act normal. I went to work. I smiled at coworkers. I laughed at jokes. But every moment away from the house felt like borrowed time. As if whatever waited for us there was patient and did not need to hurry. That morning, I reviewed the camera footage again. I watched the entire night in real time. Nothing moved. No flicker, no shadow, no distortion. The angel never turned. And yet, when I stood in front of the tree, its head was angled unmistakably downward. Its eyes met mine with unnerving precision. I decided to remove it. I told Emily I would take it down and throw it away. She did not argue. She did not speak. She only nodded and stayed in the bedroom while I stood alone beneath the tree. Up close, the angel looked different. The porcelain face had fine cracks I did not remember. Its paint smelled faintly metallic. When I wrapped my hands around it, a sharp, cold sensation traveled through my arms and into my chest. It felt less like touching an object and more like touching exposed winter air. The moment I lifted it free, the Christmas lights went out. The house plunged into darkness. Not just the tree, everything. I heard the furnace cut off, the refrigerator die, The clock in the hallway stopped ticking. Then I heard breathing. It did not come from the angel. It came from somewhere deeper in the house, somewhere low. Slow breaths drawn through something too large to be inside. I dropped the angel. It shattered when it hit the floor. Porcelain exploded across the hardwood. The wings broke cleanly away. The head rolled until it stopped against the wall facing the hallway. The breathing stopped. The lights flickered back on. The house resumed its normal hum. Emily screamed from the bedroom. I told her it was over. I told her I broke it. I told her everything was fine. I was lying. That night I woke to the sound of glass scraping across wood. I lay frozen, listening. The sound came again, slow, deliberate. Something was moving in the living room. I reached for my phone and turned on the flashlight. The hallway was empty. The door to the living room stood open. The tree lights glowed softly as if nothing had happened. The angel stood back on top of the tree, whole, not repaired, not replaced. The same fine cracks, the same chipped gold wings, and its head was turned farther than ever before. It was not looking at me. It was looking behind me. I did not turn around. I stood there trembling until the sound stopped. When I finally forced myself to move, the living room was empty. The angel faced forward once more. In the morning, I found something new beneath the tree. Footprints. They circled the tree in a perfect ring. Deep impressions pressed into the hardwood floor, as if something heavy had walked there without breaking through. The wood was cold to the touch inside each print. Emily wanted to leave. She packed a bag. She said we could stay with her sister. I agreed. I said anything to get out of the house. As we reached the front door, the handle would not turn. Not locked, jammed, frozen in place. The door felt fused to the frame. Every window was the same. That was when the smell began. Rotting pine, wet earth, old snow. It seeped from the walls, from the vents, from the cracks in the floor. The tree needles darkened and sagged as if decaying in fast motion. The angel turned its head again, slowly, smoothly, deliberately. This time I saw it move. No sound, no resistance, just porcelain rotating as naturally as flesh. Its eyes fixed on the ceiling. Then the ceiling creaked. Something shifted above us. Dust rained down. The attic hatch trembled. Emily screamed my name, and from above came a single heavy step. Whatever the angel had been watching was no longer outside. It had finally come inside. I do not remember falling asleep that night. I only remember exhaustion finally winning. Fear can keep you awake for hours, but eventually the body gives up. When I woke, the house was silent in a way that felt unnatural. No hum of electricity, no distant traffic, no wind against the windows. It felt like waking underwater. Emily was gone. The bed beside me was cold. Her phone was still on the nightstand. Her shoes were still by the door. She would never leave without them. I called her name. My voice sounded small, swallowed by the walls. No answer. I moved slowly through the hallway. The living room lights were off. Only the Christmas tree glowed faintly like a dying star. The angel sat on top perfectly still, facing forward, innocent again. That terrified me more than when it moved. I found Emily in the kitchen, standing perfectly upright in front of the sink. Her back was to me. She was not moving. Her shoulders did not rise or fall. I said her name again, louder this time. She turned her head, only her head. Her eyes were open far wider than they should have been. Her mouth hung slightly open, as if she had been interrupted mid-sentence. She whispered one word, "Attic." Then she collapsed. I caught her before she hit the floor. She was alive but unresponsive. Her skin was ice cold. I dragged her to the couch and wrapped her in blankets. I did not call an ambulance. I do not know why. Some instinct told me this was not something I could explain to anyone. I went to the attic hatch. It was open. The ladder hung down like an invitation. Warm air drifted from above, carrying the same smell of wet earth and rot. I stood at the bottom for a long time listening. There was movement, slow, deliberate, shifting weight. Something adjusting itself to fit the space. I climbed. The attic was larger than it should have been. The roof line stretched higher. The shadows reached farther. Christmas decorations lay scattered and broken. Old boxes were split open from the inside. Scratch marks lined the beams. And in the center of it all was the angel, not the one from the tree. This one was taller, life-sized, made of wood and porcelain stitched together with rusted wire. Its wings scraped the ceiling. Its head was tilted at an impossible angle as if listening. Beneath it lay footprints identical to the ones outside, but deeper, heavier, burned into the wood. The angel slowly turned its head toward me. Behind it, something unfolded. Limbs bent the wrong way. A body too long for the attic. Its skin was pale and stretched thin over a shape that refused to be understood. It did not have a face, only a hollow where a face should be. The angel was not guarding us. It was translating. Its movements mirrored the thing behind it. When the angel turned its head, the creature adjusted its posture. When the angel leaned, the creature leaned closer. I stumbled backward down the ladder. The attic hatch slammed shut above me. Emily was screaming. The tree lights flared brighter than I had ever seen. The angel on top began to turn again faster now, jerking violently. I heard cracking wood from above. Heavy impacts shook the ceiling. The house was being reshaped. Walls bowed outward, floors warped. The hallway stretched longer with every step I took. Doors appeared where none had been before. Christmas music began to play from somewhere inside the walls, warped and slowed. I dragged Emily toward the front door. The handle turned this time. Outside, the snow was gone. The yard was bare earth, churned and blackened. The forest had moved closer. Trees pressed in tight, forming a wall. Behind us, the front of the house split open. The angel on the tree fell forward and shattered again, but this time the head did not break. It rolled across the threshold and stopped at my feet. It looked up at me, and for the first time it spoke. "Run!" The ground trembled. Something massive shifted inside the house, pushing its way toward the opening. I grabbed Emily and ran into the trees. Behind us, the house folded inward like a mouth closing, and somewhere deep within the forest, something learned how to follow. The forest swallowed us within seconds. Branches clawed at my face as I ran. Snowless ground sucked at my feet like wet clay. Emily was barely conscious, her weight dragging against my arms. Behind us, the sound of the house collapsing echoed once, then cut off as if smothered. Silence followed, not the peaceful kind. This silence pressed inward. Even our breathing felt too loud. I stopped only when my lungs burned. I leaned Emily against a tree and listened. No footsteps, no pursuit, only the slow creak of trees shifting closer together. The forest was wrong. Pines leaned inward, forming narrow corridors. Their branches intertwined overhead, blocking the sky. The air smelled old, like soil that had never seen sunlight. I realized with a jolt that there were no animal sounds, no birds, no insects. Nothing lived here anymore. Emily stirred. Her eyes fluttered open. She whispered my name like she was afraid the forest would hear it. We needed help. We needed light. I pulled out my phone. No signal, no compass. The map application spun uselessly. Time felt stretched. My watch said only minutes had passed, but my body felt like hours. We walked. The forest rearranged itself when we were not looking. Paths doubled back without warning. Trees we passed appeared again moments later from different angles. Every direction felt like the wrong one. Then we saw it. A small wooden cabin stood ahead, bathed in warm yellow light. Smoke rose from its chimney. Christmas lights lined the roof, blinking softly red and green. Hope surged through me so fast it hurt. As we approached, I noticed the details. The lights were old incandescent bulbs. The wreath on the door was made of pine needles, blackened at the tips. A porcelain angel hung nailed above the door frame. Its head was turned. Inside the cabin smelled of pine and rot. A fire crackled in the hearth. An old man sat in a rocking chair facing away from us. He wore a red sweater patterned with reindeer. Without turning, he spoke. "You should not have followed the angel." My blood ran cold. I asked him what he meant. He rocked slowly. The floor creaked in time. "It watches for openings," he said. "Houses, families, traditions, things that invite it in." I asked what it was. The old man finally turned around. His eyes were missing. In their place, smooth porcelain curves reflected the firelight. "A translator," he said. "It does not speak our world." Angels were the closest shapes it could learn. Emily screamed. The old man rose. His movements were stiff like joints carved wrong. He reached toward us. I backed away, pulling Emily with me. The door slammed shut on its own. The angel above the door turned its head sharply toward us. The walls groaned. The fire flared unnaturally bright. "It followed you here," the old man said calmly. "It always does." The floorboards split. Darkness poured up from beneath like liquid shadow. Shapes pressed against the walls from the inside. The cabin stretched lengthened like the house had. I saw other doors appear. Each one had an angel above it, head twisted in different directions. "Run again," the old man said. "But it will learn faster this time." The back wall of the cabin peeled open, revealing the forest again. I did not hesitate. I carried Emily through as the cabin folded inward behind us. Outside, the trees trembled. I heard something new then, footsteps that matched mine perfectly. When I stopped, they stopped. When I turned my head, I saw another set of tracks beside ours, identical in depth and spacing. Whatever the angel had taught it, it had learned how to walk like us. We walked until my legs trembled and my thoughts began to unravel. The forest offered no horizon. Every direction looked the same. Trunks packed tight, roots like ribs pushing through the soil. Emily leaned on me with more weight than before. Her breathing came shallow and uneven. Each step felt borrowed from something that wanted it back. The mirrored footprints stayed with us. Sometimes they lagged behind. Sometimes they crept closer until I could see the edges of them forming as we walked. When I stopped, they stopped. When I stumbled, they stumbled. They were learning balance. I tried not to think about what that meant. Night arrived without warning. One moment the forest was dim, and the next it was black. No stars, no moon. The dark pressed close enough to feel like fabric brushing my face. I switched on my phone light and immediately wished I had not. Angels hung from the trees. They were crude at first. Twigs tied with string, pine cones shaped into heads. Then they grew more detailed. Carved wood, painted faces, porcelain fragments embedded where eyes should be. Every angel had its head turned at a different angle, all pointing inward toward the path, toward us. Emily began to cry softly. I covered her eyes and guided her forward. The angels did not move. They did not need to. The path opened into a clearing. In the center stood a church. It should not have fit here. White wooden walls, a steeple leaning slightly. Warm light spilled from stained glass windows depicting angels with familiar tilted heads. A bell hung above the door perfectly still. I knew it was a lie. I went anyway. Inside the air was warmer. Candles lined the pews already lit. The smell of wax mixed with the forest rot. At the altar stood a woman in a simple choir robe. Her back was straight, her hands folded. She turned. Her face was my face. Not perfectly, close enough to make my stomach turn. Her eyes studied me with careful interest, like a craftsman evaluating a copy. It listens through shapes, she said, through rituals, through the stories we tell children. Angels, carolers, churches, safe things. She gestured to Emily. It needs more practice. The bell rang once. The angels in the stained glass turned their heads. The woman stepped closer and mirrored my movements perfectly. When I shifted left, she shifted right. When I tightened my grip on Emily, she smiled wider. I shouted and charged the altar. She dissolved into splinters and wire that scattered across the floor, writhing like insects. The church groaned. The walls breathed. The pews stretched and twisted. From the ceiling, something descended. Not a body, a concept. Weight without shape. Sound without voice. It pressed into the room, bending light. The angels were not calling it. They were focusing it. I understood then. The angel on our tree had not been unique. It was one of many lenses placed where belief was strongest. I grabbed the bell rope and pulled. The sound shattered the air. The stained glass exploded outward. The angels cracked and fell. The pressure lifted just enough. We ran. The church collapsed behind us, dissolving into trees and dirt. The forest screamed with breaking branches. The mirrored footsteps rushed to keep up, now overlapping ours. Emily stumbled. I turned to lift her and saw the footprints rise from the ground. They filled with darkness. They stood, 2 legs, too long, knees bending wrong, no feet, just impressions hovering where feet should be. It tried to take my shape. I swung the bell rope at it. The sound it made was wrong, like ice splitting underwater. It recoiled. We ran again. The forest began to thin. Ahead I saw a road, real asphalt, reflective paint, a sign half buried in dirt. Hope flared. Behind us, the angels began to fall from the trees one by one, and the footsteps learned how to run. The road was real. I knew it the moment my feet touched asphalt. It was cracked and cold and solid in a way the forest had never been. A faded yellow line ran down the center half, buried beneath dirt and pine needles. A metal road sign leaned at an angle nearby, its letters rusted and unreadable. Civilization existed here once. That meant it could exist again. Behind us, the forest hesitated. Trees stopped at the edge of the road, as if bound by an invisible rule. The hanging angels swayed gently but did not cross. For a moment, I believed we were safe. Then the mirrored footsteps stepped onto the asphalt. They did not sink. They did not hesitate. They adapted instantly. Whatever rule held the forest did not apply to what had learned to follow us. Headlights appeared in the distance. A car. The sight nearly broke me. I waved my arms and shouted until my throat burned. The car slowed. Gravel crunched as it pulled over. A middle-aged woman leaned out the window, concern etched across her face. "Are you hurt?" she asked. I tried to answer, but the words tangled. I pointed at Emily, who was barely standing. The woman unlocked the doors immediately. We climbed inside. Warmth rushed over me. The interior smelled like coffee and pine air freshener. The radio played a soft Christmas song. For the first time in days, my body began to shake uncontrollably as adrenaline drained away. The woman introduced herself as Carol. She drove without asking questions at first. I watched the road behind us through the rear window. The forest receded. Darkness swallowed it whole. I thought we had escaped. 10 minutes later, Carol spoke again. "The angel led you out, didn't it?" My blood went cold. She smiled gently, too gently. "It always does eventually," she continued. "It likes roads, crossings, places where one thing becomes another." The radio crackled. The song slowed and warped. Carol did not react. Her eyes never left the road. In the rear-view mirror, I saw her reflection lag behind her movements just slightly. Emily squeezed my hand weakly. I told Carol to stop the car. She did. Instantly, the road outside was no longer the same. Snow had returned thick and heavy. Houses lined the street on either side. Identical copies decorated with identical trees. Every tree had an angel on top. All of them were turned toward the car. Carol finally turned to look at us. Her eyes were porcelain, not implanted, growing. The dashboard cracked as if something inside the car shifted its weight. The doors locked themselves with a sharp mechanical click. "You are close now," Carol said. "It wants you to see how many places it already lives." The car began to move on its own, rolling slowly down the street. Each house we passed showed the same scene through the windows. Families frozen mid-celebration, smiles locked in place, none of them blinking. I smashed my elbow against the window until the glass fractured. Cold air rushed in. The car swerved. The angels screamed, not with voices but with pressure. The sound crushed inward, making my vision blur. I pulled Emily through the broken window and fell hard onto the snow. The car drove on without us. The street went dark. The houses vanished, leaving only empty lots and trees. In the snow beside us, new footprints appeared. For this time, it was no longer alone. Emily collapsed. She was burning with fever now. Her breath rattled. I carried her until I could not feel my arms. Ahead I saw lights again. A town, real buildings, real movement. A gas station sign flickered in the distance. I staggered toward it. As we crossed the final stretch of snow, the temperature rose abruptly. The angels in the distance recoiled, as if burned. The footprints faltered. We crossed an invisible boundary and the pressure lifted. People shouted. Someone ran toward us. Hands grabbed my shoulders. A voice asked questions too fast to answer. We were safe. At least that is what I believed, as they loaded Emily into an ambulance. As the doors closed, I saw a small porcelain angel sitting on the dashboard. Its head turned slowly toward the driver, toward the town, toward everything that believed it was still safe. The hospital lights were too bright, white without warmth. They buzzed faintly above my head like insects trapped behind glass. I sat alone in a plastic chair outside the emergency room while nurses rushed past, speaking in low, urgent voices. Emily had been taken from me the moment we arrived. Doors closed. Curtains drawn. I was left with my thoughts. That was when the guilt began. If I had thrown the angel away that first night, if I had listened to Emily sooner, if I had not followed the road, the questions looped endlessly, each one sharper than the last. A doctor finally approached. He told me Emily was stable but unconscious. Severe dehydration, hypothermia, elevated heart rate. He asked what happened out there. I told him we were lost in the woods. He nodded without believing me. They gave me a cup of coffee. I did not drink it. Across the waiting room stood a small Christmas tree placed there for atmosphere. Tinsel hung loosely. A few ornaments reflected the harsh lights, and on top sat a familiar shape, a porcelain angel. Its head faced forward. I did not move. I watched it from the corner of my eye. Patience passed beneath it, unaware. A child laughed. A television played muted news footage. Life continued. Slowly, deliberately, the angel turned its head. No one else reacted. It pointed down the hallway toward the intensive care unit. I stood and followed. The hallway felt longer than it should have. Each step echoed too clearly. Doors along the sides were decorated with paper snowflakes and drawings of angels made by children. Every drawing showed the angel with its head turned. I reached Emily's room. She lay pale beneath thin blankets, machines breathing for her. For a moment, relief washed over me. She was alive. Then I noticed the window. It was open. Cold air spilled inside, carrying the faint smell of wet earth. On the sill sat a small porcelain wing fragment. The heart monitor began to stutter. The angel on the tree down the hall turned again, faster now. I heard porcelain crack somewhere above the ceiling tiles. The lights flickered. A nurse ran in asking what I had done. I backed away. Emily opened her eyes. They were not hers. Porcelain, white, smooth, reflective. She sat up too quickly, wires snapping free. The machines screamed alarms. Her mouth opened, and a sound like air forced through snow filled the room. "It found you again," she said, in a voice that layered over itself. The ceiling above her bowed. I ran. The hallway stretched. The exit signs multiplied, all pointing in different directions. Angels hung from the ceiling, now their heads spinning slowly. Behind me, something moved with Emily's shape, but not her movements. Its steps were delayed, correcting, learning. I burst through an emergency exit into freezing night air. Snow fell thick and blinding. The hospital behind me looked wrong, taller, wider windows stacked unevenly. Sirens wailed inside, not outside. I ran until my lungs burned and collapsed behind a dumpster. Minutes passed. Nothing followed. I staggered to my feet and looked back. The hospital was normal again. Ambulances arrived. People moved calmly. No one chased me. I did not go back inside. I walked through town until dawn. Christmas decorations lined the streets. Every store window featured angels. Every church steeple glinted white. At sunrise, I reached the bus station. Exhausted, shaking, I sat down among travelers. For the first time since the forest, I felt invisible. A bus pulled in. On its dashboard sat a small porcelain angel. Its head was turned toward the passengers, toward me. I understood then. It did not need houses anymore. It did not need forests. As long as people gathered and believed in safe symbols, it would always find a way to look. I did not board the bus. I watched it pull away through the fogged glass of the station doors. The angel on the dashboard remained perfectly still as the engine rumbled to life. Only when the bus turned onto the main road did its head rotate slightly, as if tracking something beyond the passengers. Tracking me, I stayed in the station until the sun rose fully. Commuters arrived. Coffee machines hissed. Announcements echoed overhead. Normal sounds wrapped around me like a thin blanket that could tear at any moment. I needed answers. The town library opened at 8. I walked there slowly, keeping my eyes down. Christmas decorations hung from every lamppost. Angels again and again carved, printed, stitched, smiling down at pedestrians. I felt watched from every angle. Inside the library, the air smelled of dust and old paper. It was quiet enough to think. I searched local archives, newspapers, church records, anything that mentioned disappearances around Christmas. It did not take long. Stories repeated themselves across decades. Families vanishing after holiday gatherings. Fires that left no bodies. Cars found abandoned on roads with doors open and engines still warm. Every article mentioned the same detail buried deep in the text. Christmas decorations were untouched. I found a handwritten journal locked in a display case donated by a former pastor. The librarian hesitated but eventually unlocked it for me, sensing my desperation. The entries were frantic. The pastor wrote about angels that watched from trees, rooftops, doorways. He believed they were not messengers, but lenses, focus points for something vast and patient. He tried to destroy them, but they returned always closer, always more detailed. The final entry ended mid-sentence. I closed the journal with shaking hands. A child stood beside my table. She asked me if I was looking for angels. I froze. Her eyes were normal, curious. She pointed to a drawing she held, a crayon angel with its head turned sharply to the side. "My mommy says they keep us safe," she said. I did not answer. Outside, the sky darkened, though it was barely afternoon. Snow began to fall thick and sudden. Church bells rang across town, not in unison, but overlapping, slightly out of sync. I knew what that meant. I ran. The streets shifted subtly. Storefronts repeated. Alleys looped back on themselves. The town was becoming like the forest. At the center of the square stood the largest Christmas tree I had ever seen. It towered above the buildings, strung with thousands of lights. On top was an angel taller than a man. Its head faced forward. A crowd gathered below, taking photos, laughing, pointing. Children sat on shoulders. The angel turned, slowly, deliberately. Every camera malfunctioned at once. Screens went black. The crowd murmured in confusion. The angel raised one arm. The bells stopped. Silence slammed down so hard, people staggered. Snow froze midair, hanging like ash. I screamed for everyone to run. No one heard me. The angel spoke without sound, and the ground answered. Cracks raced across the square. Light poured upward, not from below, but from somewhere far away, bending space. The angel rotated its head again, and the cracks aligned, forming a perfect circle. This was not a feeding. It was an opening. I felt pressure behind my eyes, memories surfacing that were not mine. Forests collapsing, houses folding, roads learning how to follow. This had happened before, many times. A hand grabbed my arm. The librarian, her face was streaked with tears. She whispered that the pastor was right. That belief made it stronger. Together we pushed through the frozen crowd toward the edge of the square. The pressure increased the closer we came to the circle. Angels appeared everywhere now, materializing from decorations. Statues, drawings, their heads snapping into alignment. The librarian fell. Something pulled at her shadow, stretching it toward the light. She screamed and vanished soundlessly like breath on glass. I ran alone. Behind me, the square folded inward. The angel on the tree did not move again. It did not need to. The opening was complete. By nightfall, emergency broadcasts filled the airwaves. Authorities spoke of sinkholes, gas leaks, mass hysteria. They avoided the word angel. I reached the outskirts of town where the decorations thinned. My phone buzzed for the first time since the forest. A single message. "Where did you go?" It was from Emily's number. Attached was a photo. A Christmas tree, an angel on top, its head turned toward the camera. toward me. I stopped trusting messages after the forest. Still, when Emily's number appeared on my phone, my hands shook so badly I nearly dropped it. The photo burned itself into my mind. The angel was closer than before. The background was unfamiliar. Not a hospital, not a town square, somewhere enclosed. I did not reply. I powered the phone off and wrapped it in my jacket like it might listen if left exposed. I kept moving. I followed back roads away from town toward places where decorations thinned and people gathered less. Farms, empty stretches of highway, abandoned diners closed for the season. Each mile felt like breathing room. By nightfall, I reached a roadside motel. Only 3 rooms were lit. A flickering neon sign buzzed weakly, spelling out "Rest" in half-working letters. I paid cash. The clerk barely looked up. A small, artificial tree sat behind the counter. No angel. Relief washed through me so fast. My knees nearly gave out. The room smelled of old carpet and disinfectant. I locked the door, checked the bathroom, checked the closet. Nothing moved. Nothing watched. I collapsed onto the bed fully clothed. Sleep came hard and shallow. I dreamed of Emily standing behind glass, tapping slowly. Each tap lined up with a crack spreading outward in a perfect circle. I woke to knocking, not on the door, on the wall. 3 slow taps, a pause, then 3 again. I held my breath. The tapping moved. Room to room, I heard muffled voices from the next room arguing quietly. Laughter, a television, life. The tapping stopped outside my wall. A voice whispered my name. Dan! I slammed the bathroom light on. The mirror reflected only me, pale, shaking eyes, wide. Another knock. This time on the window. I tore the curtain aside. Snow fell heavily, though the forecast had said clear skies. In the glow of the parking lot light, I saw footprints leading from the tree line to directly beneath my window. They stopped there. I backed away. The television clicked on by itself. Static filled the room. Shapes pressed against the screen, forming outlines that resembled wings. The door handle began to turn. I grabbed a chair and wedged it beneath the knob. The pressure increased. Wood creaked. Then everything stopped. Silence. The handle relaxed. I waited minutes, then hours. At dawn, I opened the door. The hallway was empty. The other rooms were dark. The parking lot was empty. The motel was closed. Every door was sealed shut from the outside. Windows boarded. The front office abandoned and stripped bare. The neon sign was gone. The building had aged decades overnight. In the lobby, I found a bulletin board, yellowed and curling. Photos were pinned beneath glass. Missing persons. Dozens. All taken around Christmas. All last seen staying at roadside motels. In every photo behind the subject stood something familiar. A Christmas tree. An angel on top. Its head turned slightly toward the camera. I staggered back. The tapping began again, this time from inside the walls. The plaster bulged outward, forming impressions like hands pushing through from the other side. I ran for the exit. The door led not outside but into another room, this one decorated for Christmas. A family sat frozen around a small tree. Their eyes tracked me, but their bodies did not move. On the tree sat an angel with cracked porcelain wings. It turned its head, the walls peeled back. The motel was not abandoned. It was full. Every room held the same scene. Different families, different decades, all paused. At the moment they believed they were safe. I felt the pressure build again, the familiar bending of space. I ran until the hallway narrowed into a single corridor lined with angels embedded in the walls like fossils. At the end stood a door marked exit. I burst through. Cold air hit me hard. I was back on the road. The motel was gone. In its place stood an empty concrete slab dusted with snow. My phone buzzed. I turned it on without thinking. A new message from Emily. You almost stayed. Attached was a photo. The motel room. My motel room. The angel on the television. Its head turned toward the bed. I did not sleep after the motel vanished. I walked until my legs moved without asking permission. Dawn came pale and uncertain, staining the sky like watered-down ink. The road stretched empty in both directions. No cars, no houses, only the crunch of my boots and the sound of my breath. I knew something had changed. The angel was no longer chasing me, it was herding me. By mid-morning, I reached a small town nestled between low hills. Smoke rose from chimneys. Christmas banners hung across the main street reading Season of Light. I almost laughed at that. Almost. I needed supplies, food, water, a place to think. I told myself I would pass through quickly, that I would not stay long enough for it to settle. The grocery store was busy. People smiled. A bell rang as customers entered and exited. Near the register stood a small display of holiday figurines. Angels. I kept my eyes down and moved fast. The cashier wished me a Merry Christmas. Her smile froze, just a fraction too long. Outside, I noticed something wrong with the shadows. They lagged. Not just mine. Every shadow on the street followed its owner a half-second late. When someone waved their arm, the shadow copied it slowly, correcting itself. Learning, I left the groceries behind and ran. At the edge of town stood an old church converted into a shelter. A sign read, "All are welcome." That phrase felt like a challenge. Inside, volunteers handed out soup. Children slept on cots. A large Christmas tree stood near the altar. No angel. I felt a brief, fragile hope. A man approached wearing a reflective vest. He asked my name. I hesitated, then lied. He nodded, writing it down. The list behind him was long. Every name crossed out. He asked where I was going. Away, I said. He smiled sadly. Everyone says that. The doors slammed shut. The windows frosted instantly, spreading outward like veins. The temperature dropped. Breath turned to mist. The tree lights flickered on by themselves. An angel rose slowly from the branches. It was not placed there. It grew, porcelain forming over wire, wings unfolding joint by joint. Its head remained still until it fully emerged. Then it turned. All the volunteers froze. The children stopped breathing. The angel spoke aloud for the first time. "You are late?" The sound was layered, not loud, but heavy, pressing meaning directly into my skull. Images flooded my mind. Towns emptying, roads looping, shelters filling, names crossed out. This was a harvest. I screamed for everyone to run. No one moved. Shadows detached from their owners pooling beneath the angel. They stretched upward, knitting themselves together, forming legs, torsos, arms. It was building bodies. I grabbed a fire extinguisher and smashed it into the tree. Foam sprayed everywhere, hissing. The angel shrieked its first real sound, porcelain cracking. The shelter shook. People fell. I ran through the chaos, dodging forming shapes, clawing at the floor. A hand grabbed my ankle made of shadow and wire. I kicked free and burst through a side door. Cold air hit me hard. Behind me, the church collapsed inward. Like paper burned from the center. I did not stop running until I reached the hills. From above, I looked back at the town. Lights went out one by one. By nightfall, there would be nothing left but decorations and silence. My phone buzzed. A new message, not from Emily, from an unknown number. A live video feed opened. I saw myself running. The camera angle was above and behind me. Watching. The feed ended. I knew then the truth. The angel did not need me to believe anymore. It had learned how to see without eyes, and it was already choosing where I would stop next. After the live feed ended, I destroyed my phone. I did not stop running until my vision blurred and the hills gave way to open farmland. The night air cut into my lungs. Every shadow felt deliberate now, positioned just out of reach of my vision. I smashed my phone against a rock until the screen shattered, then buried the pieces beneath frozen soil. Still, I felt watched. By morning, I reached an abandoned farmstead. A collapsed barn leaned sideways like a broken tooth. The farmhouse windows were boarded shut. No decorations, no lights, no angels. I chose it because it looked forgotten. Inside the house, dust coated every surface. Furniture sat where it had been left decades earlier. A calendar on the wall showed December 25th circled in red from a year-long past. Someone had believed once. I barricaded the doors and covered the windows. I sat on the floor, breathing slowly, trying to remember what silence used to feel like. Hours passed. Nothing happened. That frightened me more than any chase. Near sunset, I found a notebook hidden beneath a loose floorboard. The handwriting was cramped and frantic. The author wrote about angels appearing every Christmas, watching, turning, listening. He believed they were not predators, but surveyors, mapping where belief was strongest. One line was underlined repeatedly. It comes for the ones who notice. My hands shook. Outside, the wind picked up. Snow drifted against the boarded windows. The house groaned like it was settling its weight. Then I heard singing. A Christmas carol, soft at first, carried on the wind. Then closer, multiple voices layered slightly out of sync. I climbed to the attic and peered through a crack in the boards. They stood in the fields. Dozens of people, families, children, carolers dressed in winter coats, all facing the house, all singing. Each of them held a small angel figurine. All the angels faced the farmhouse. The singing stopped at once. One step forward. Together, I backed away, heart hammering. The walls vibrated. The boarded windows bowed inward. I heard wood splinter. I remembered the journal. It comes for the ones who notice. So I did something desperate. I closed my eyes. I stopped looking. I covered my ears and hummed loudly, drowning out the carol. I focused on nothing, on blankness, on forgetting. The pressure lessened. The house stopped shaking. I waited. Minutes passed. When I finally looked again, the fields were empty. The snow was smooth, untouched. I had survived, but survival had a cost. When I tried to picture Emily's face, I could not. Details slid away like water. The more I tried, the more blank it became. I understood then. Not noticing was not free. It took pieces. Days passed in the farmhouse. I did not count them. I avoided mirrors. I avoided windows. I ate sparingly, slept little. When I finally dared to leave the farm, I felt lighter, hollowed. At the edge of the field stood a small wooden sign newly planted. "Merry Christmas," it read. An angel was carved at the top. Its head was turned away from me for the first time, and I felt relief until I realized why. It was not looking at me anymore. It had already learned everything it needed. I left the farmhouse before dawn. I did not look back. The farther I walked, the more pieces of myself felt missing. Simple memories slipped through my grasp. Songs I once knew, streets I had lived on. Emily's laugh was now only a hollow outline. Pain dulled with it, and that terrified me more than the fear ever had. By midday, I reached a small river cutting through frozen fields. The water moved slowly, dark beneath a skin of ice. I followed it because it felt older than the roads, older than towns. Places like this remembered things even when people did not. I was wrong. As night fell, the river led me to a bridge strung with white lights. A banner hung across it reading, "Community Christmas Crossing." Families gathered, laughing, sipping hot drinks. Children leaned over the rail, tossing bread to ducks that were not there. At the center of the bridge stood a wooden arch, an angel carved into the beam above it. Its head was turned downward, watching every person who passed beneath. I felt nothing, no fear, no warning. That was the worst sign of all. I tried to walk past, but a volunteer stepped into my path, smiling warmly. He handed me a candle. "Everyone crosses together," he said. The crowd began to sing. I recognized the melody, but not the words. They slid past my understanding, leaving only rhythm. The candle in my hand burned without heat. As we moved forward, the river below went silent. The ice thickened, spreading outward. The lights brightened until the world washed white. When we reached the arch, the angel moved. Not its head, its wings. They unfolded slowly, blocking the sky. People gasped in awe, not fear. The volunteer squeezed my shoulder. "You're safe now," he said. I remembered the farmhouse journal. "It comes for the ones who notice." So I noticed. I let the fear return. The weight crashed down instantly. My chest tightened. The pressure behind my eyes surged. The angel reacted, its head snapping toward me alone. The crowd froze. Candles guttered out simultaneously. The bridge groaned. Cracks split the ice below, forming a perfect ring around the bridge supports. Light poured upward again, bending the air. The angel was not opening a door. It was sealing one. I ran. Hands grabbed at me from the frozen crowd. fingers stiff like carved wood. I tore free and vaulted the rail, plunging into the river. The cold stole my breath. Darkness swallowed me. The current dragged me beneath the ice, scraping skin and bone. I pushed forward blindly until light appeared ahead. I burst through thin ice downstream, gasping. Behind me, the bridge collapsed inward, silently swallowed by the river. The singing never stopped. I lay shaking on the bank until dawn. When I stood, my reflection in the water lagged behind my movements just slightly. I laughed. It was learning again. Further down the bank lay something half buried in snow, a small porcelain angel. Cracked. Its head was missing. I left it there. Some lessons should stay unfinished. The river took more than the cold. It took time. When I finally reached a road again, days had passed. Or weeks, I could not tell. My beard had grown. My hands were cracked and bleeding. The world felt thinner, like a photograph left too long in the sun. I followed the road into a city. Skyscrapers loomed ahead, glass catching winter light. Traffic moved. People hurried with shopping bags and wrapped boxes. Loudspeakers played cheerful music. The city looked alive, untouched by the quiet devastation I had left behind. I almost believed the angel could not reach this place. I was wrong. Every plaza held a Christmas tree. Every office lobby displayed wreaths and figurines. Angels everywhere. Polished, perfect, identical, their heads all faced forward, watching nothing. Yet, I blended into the crowd, keeping my head down. Screens flashed advertisements. Smiling families gathered beneath glowing trees. I saw Emily's face twice in reflections, and once in a passing crowd. But when I turned, she was gone. By evening, snow fell thick, muting the city. I took shelter in a crowded subway station. Warm air rushed up from the tunnels, carrying oil and metal smells. Trains roared past, shaking the platform. This many people meant safety. That was what belief always said. A busker played a violin near the turnstiles. The melody twisted familiar carols into something slower, heavier. People gathered, tossing coins. Above the stairwell hung a massive holiday banner. An angel printed across it, wings spread. Its head faced forward. As the music slowed, the crowd grew quiet. Conversations faded. The train stopped arriving. The angel on the banner turned its head. Fabric rippled as if flesh beneath. People stared, confused. The lights dimmed. Shadows pooled along the tracks, deeper than the tunnel should allow. The smell of wet earth seeped upward. I felt the pressure build again, sharper than ever. This place was perfect. Thousands of eyes, thousands of beliefs. I pushed against the crowd, shouting, but my voice was swallowed. Phones malfunctioned, screens filling with static winged shapes. Children began to cry. The angel peeled itself from the banner. It stepped onto the platform, unfolding jointed wings of cloth and wire. Its porcelain face was smooth blank except for a single crack down the center. It raised its head. Every other angel decoration in the station responded, snapping into alignment. This was not a door. This was a beacon. I remembered the headless angel by the river. Some lessons should stay unfinished. I ran ran toward the tracks. Someone screamed as I jumped down onto the gravel. The third rail hummed deadly close. The angel shrieked, fabric tearing, metal screeching. I tore open a maintenance door and threw myself inside. The tunnel was narrow, pitch black. I ran blind, scraping walls. Behind me, the sound of pursuit echoed, multiplied. I reached a dead end. The wall was smooth concrete, cold and unyielding. I pressed my forehead against it and closed my eyes. Do not notice. Do not believe. Do not look. The sound receded. The pressure lifted. When I opened my eyes, the tunnel was empty. Hours later, I emerged miles away. The city skyline glowed peacefully in the distance. On a nearby billboard, a holiday advertisement flickered. A smiling angel. Its head was turned away from the city. For now, I walked on, knowing the angel was not finished, only redirected, and that next time it would choose somewhere even brighter. The city faded behind me as I followed the highway south. Skyscrapers gave way to warehouses, then to open land dotted with billboards and power lines. I moved mostly at night, sleeping during the day, in places no one lingered. Under bridges, empty rest stops, construction sites frozen for the winter. I learned patterns. Angels appeared where people paused, where they gathered, where they waited. Bus terminals, malls, churches, shelters, intersections clogged with traffic. The more time people spent in one place, the more decorations appeared. The angel did not chase movement. It preferred stillness. I stopped carrying money. I stopped reading signs. I stopped reacting to advertisements and screens. I trained myself to look through things instead of at them, peripheral vision only. Nothing held my gaze for more than a heartbeat. For a while it worked. Then I reached the outskirts of a small desert town. The land was flat, endless brown scrub beneath a pale sky. Wind pushed sand across the road. The town itself was little more than a crossroads gas station diner and a handful of houses. No decorations, no music, no angels. I almost smiled. The gas station bell chimed as I entered. The clerk barely glanced up. A pot of coffee burned on the warmer. The television above the counter showed static. I filled a cup and drank slowly, savoring the bitterness. For the first time in weeks, my hands stopped shaking. Outside, the wind died. The silence felt staged. I paid and stepped back onto the road. That was when I noticed the shadows. They were wrong, not delayed like before. They were ahead of their owners, stretching toward where people would step next. Predictive. I turned slowly. Across the street, the diner lights flickered on one by one. Through the windows, I saw people seated at tables, heads bowed, plates untouched, frozen. A Christmas wreath hung inside the diner. Fresh, green, impossible. I backed away. The door to the gas station locked behind me with a sharp click. The television flickered. An image formed. A desert road. This road. The camera angle was high wide. Watching. The clerk looked up. His eyes reflected porcelain white. "You've been difficult," he said calmly, "but you are learning." The ground vibrated faintly. I felt it through my boots. From behind the diner, something rose. Not tall, wide, a ring of metal and wire embedded in the sand, rotating slowly. From its inner edge, dozens of angel heads emerged, facing inward. They were not watching the town, they were watching the road. Me. This was not a trap. It was a test. I stepped forward. The shadows surged. I closed my eyes. I slowed my breathing. I let my thoughts blur. The vibration intensified, then faltered. One of the angel heads cracked. The ring stuttered. I felt something like irritation ripple through the air. "You cannot unlearn belief forever," the clerk said. "You will look again." I opened my eyes. The ring was sinking back into the sand. The diner lights went out. The clerk slumped unconscious behind the counter. The door unlocked. I did not wait. I walked until night swallowed the road. Behind me, the desert remained empty, but I knew the truth now. The angel was adapting to resistance, and it was no longer content with waiting for Christmas. After the desert town, I stopped running, not because I felt safe, but because I understood something fundamental. The angel followed patterns. It tested resistance. It refined methods. Running only taught it new routes, new environments, new symbols to weaponize. So I changed the pattern. I stayed. I chose a place no one noticed. A decaying coastal town far from highways where tourism had died years ago. Half the houses were empty. Stores closed early. People passed each other without speaking. Belief here was thin. I rented a room above a bait shop under a false name. The owner did not ask questions. No decorations hung in the windows. No music played. The ocean drowned everything else. For weeks, nothing happened. I worked odd jobs, unloading crates, cleaning boats, repairing nets. My body healed. My thoughts slowed. At night, I listened to waves crash against rotting piers, counting them until sleep came. I began to hope. That was my mistake. The first angel appeared on a weathered church overlooking the harbor, not placed, carved into the wood itself. Its head faced forward. The second appeared etched into a driftwood sculpture outside a closed restaurant. Then more. They were subtle, blended into decay, easy to overlook. I did not look. I walked past them every day without acknowledging their shape. I trained myself to see only lines and textures. The town grew quieter. People stopped leaving their houses. Boats remained tied. The ocean itself seemed to recede, pulling back farther each day. One night, the owner of the bait shop knocked on my door. He asked if I had seen the angels. I said no. His face slackened in relief. "Good," he said. "They don't like being ignored." That night, the fog rolled in thick and heavy. It swallowed the docks, the streets, the sea itself. The fog pressed against my window, breathing. I did not look. I heard wood creaking outside, something climbing. The pressure returned slowly, patiently. A voice spoke through the wall, not loud, not threatening. "You are hiding." I sat on the floor, back against the bed, eyes closed. "I am waiting," I replied. The voice paused. That was new. Outside, something shifted its weight, uncertain. The pressure wavered. Then came anger. The fog churned violently. The building shook. I heard splintering wood and shattering glass below. I stayed still. Minutes passed. Then silence. At dawn, the fog lifted. The bait shop was gone. Only the foundation remained. The town was empty. No bodies, no signs of struggle. Only angels. angels, hundreds of them carved, etched, painted, grown from every surface. Their heads all turned inward toward the room I stood in. They had built a shrine. I stepped outside. The ground trembled lightly. The angels did not move. They did not need to. I finally understood. The angel was not hunting me. It was waiting for me to decide, to look, to acknowledge, to choose belief or denial. I turned my back on them and walked toward the shore. Behind me, the sound of cracking porcelain echoed like distant thunder. I did not turn around. Some things only gain power when they are witnessed, and I had already given it too much. I stayed by the ocean for 3 days. I did not look back at the town. I did not count the angels. I focused on the sound of waves and the weight of sand beneath my boots. Every step forward felt deliberate, like an act of defiance. On the 4th night, the storm came. Wind tore across the shoreline, screaming through broken pilings. Rain lashed sideways, stinging my skin. The sea rose higher, swallowing the beach inch by inch. I took shelter in the remains of an old lifeguard station, its windows long shattered. That was when the lights appeared. Far out on the water, dozens of small points of white glimmered to life. At first, I thought they were boats. Then they began to align. They formed a circle. At the center, something brightened slowly, as if a star were being pulled up from beneath the waves. I felt the pressure return heavier than ever. The angel had found a new surface. The ocean itself, the water within the circle, stilled, unnaturally smooth. Despite the storm, from its center rose a structure of pale shapes fused together, wings, faces, torsos half remembered. They assembled silently, emerging piece by piece, until a colossal angel stood upon the sea, its head faced forward, toward the shore. Toward me, I staggered back, pressing myself against the station wall. The angel did not move closer. It did not need to. The waves around it froze mid-crest, locked in place like glass. Rain stopped falling inside the circle, hanging in the air. The voice came from everywhere. You cannot ignore what surrounds you. Images flooded my mind, cities, coastlines, satellites, watching storms, oceans mapped and named. Humanity had noticed everything, catalogued it, believed it owned it. This was the cost. I screamed into the wind. You only exist because we look. The pressure spiked, then faltered. The angel tilted its head. That small, familiar motion. It was listening. I understood then. Denial alone was not enough. Ignoring worked only where belief was thin. But the ocean was shared, watched, studied, loved, feared. I picked up a rusted flare gun from the station locker. My hands shook as I loaded it. I aimed not at the angel, but at the sky. The flare burst upward, red light slicing through storm clouds, painting everything in violent color. For a moment, the world looked wrong. The angel recoiled. The circle on the water fractured. Waves crashed inward, breaking the stillness. Rain resumed hammering down. The colossal form began to unravel, pieces sloughing off into the sea, dissolving before they could sink. The voice screamed not in pain, but in confusion. You changed the pattern. I fired the last flare into the water. Steam erupted. Light scattered wildly, disrupting reflections. The angel collapsed back into the ocean, swallowed whole. The pressure vanished. I collapsed, shaking, soaked to the bone. At dawn, the storm passed. The sea looked ordinary again, churning gray, endless. No lights, no shapes, only debris washing ashore, fragments of porcelain, smooth and broken. I walked along the beach, kicking them back into the surf one by one. But I knew this was not victory. It was escalation. The angel had learned something new, that even the vastest spaces could be disrupted, and next time it would choose somewhere no one could turn away from. I did not stay in the mountain town, not because it became dangerous, but because safety there depended on constant effort. Stories had to be spoken, silence had to be watched. People needed reminders. I was only one voice, and I knew better than to believe I could be enough. So I left quietly before winter broke. The world below the mountains felt louder than before. Radios blared from passing cars. Screens flickered at every gas stop. Christmas decorations were already going up, even though it was only early December. The season arrived earlier every year. So did the angel. I saw the signs before the signs appeared. Small gaps in time. A blink that lasted too long. Reflections that corrected themselves after I moved. I kept walking anyway. I reached a large suburban town just as dusk settled. Rows of identical houses stretched outward like copies of a single idea. Each yard held decorations, boxes, lights, inflatable figures, tangled wires waiting to be assembled. I rented a room from an elderly couple who spoke mostly in routines. Dinner at 6, television at 7, bed by 9. Predictable lives made thin defenses. That night I dreamed of Emily. Not her face, her voice. It called my name softly from behind a door I did not remember opening. I woke with tears on my face and no memory of why. In the morning, the first tree appeared. Not inside a house, in the center of a cul-de-sac. Someone had dragged a large pine upright and anchored it with concrete. Lights already wound around its branches. Neighbors gathered, smiling, taking photos, planning a lighting ceremony. No angel yet. I watched from a distance. The angel arrived after sunset. Someone placed it quietly at the top as if it had always belonged there. White porcelain wings, pristine face, calm expression. Its head faced forward. The ceremony began. Children counted down. Lights flared to life. Applause echoed off the houses. The angel turned its head just a little. I felt the pressure bloom outward like a pulse. People laughed unaware. Music played. Phones rose to capture the moment. I stepped forward and shouted, "Take it down." My voice cut through the noise sharply enough that a few heads turned. Someone frowned. A man told me to relax. The angel turned further. I pushed through the crowd, grabbed the ladder and climbed. Hands pulled at my coat. Someone yelled. The angel watched me approach without moving. Up close, it was heavier than it looked. When I touched it, the pressure surged violently. Images flooded my mind. Neighborhoods, identical ceremonies, repeating town after town. This was how it spread now, quietly, politely. I tore the angel free. The lights went out instantly. Silence fell hard. The angel screamed. Not a sound, but a wave of meaning so intense I nearly fell. Fear, longing, safety, obedience, all tangled together. I hurled it onto the pavement. It shattered. People screamed. The pressure snapped. The tree lights flickered back on. The crowd stared at me in shock. Someone called the police. I ran. Behind me, the pieces of porcelain lay still. They did not reform. That night, news stations reported a disturbance, vandalism, mental health concerns. No one mentioned the angel moving, but the next morning, the cul-de-sac was empty. Every house for sale, every light off, the tree gone. The town pretended nothing happened. I knew better. The angel had lost something there. Momentum. It would not stop, but it would change again, and it would remember me. Because for the first time, I had not just refused its story. I had broken one in front of witnesses. After the cul-de-sac emptied, I stopped appearing on roads. I learned to move through places people overlooked. Service corridors behind malls, drainage paths along highways, storage lots behind stadiums, spaces built only for passing through, not for gathering. The angel struggled there. Attention thinned, belief slipped, but Christmas Day was coming. I felt it like a pressure change before a storm. The world leaned toward celebration, toward ritual, toward repetition. On Christmas Eve, I reached a city where celebration had been declared mandatory. Streets closed. Loudspeakers mounted on poles played carols on a loop. A massive countdown clock glowed above the central plaza. This was the culmination. The angel had learned how to scale joy. I hid beneath the plaza in maintenance tunnels, listening to footsteps echo overhead. The countdown voice boomed every hour, reminding people to gather. 10 minutes to midnight. I climbed a ladder and peered through a grate. The plaza was packed. Thousands of people, shoulder to shoulder, phones raised, faces glowing. At the center stood the largest Christmas tree I had ever seen, its height rivaling nearby buildings. Drones hovered, filming from above, and on top of the tree, an angel made of light. Not porcelain, not wood, pure projection. No weight, no surface, no way to break it. The angel did not need to exist physically anymore. It had learned the final lesson. Images from around the world streamed across giant screens. Cities, villages, ships at sea, refugee camps everywhere. People gathered, celebrating beneath some form of angel. A synchronized ritual. Midnight struck. The angel turned its head. Every screen aligned. Every broadcast froze on the same image. The pressure. Video slammed down. People gasped, clutched their heads, dropped phones. I felt my thoughts fragment memories, trying to rearrange themselves into something obedient. This was not feeding, this was rewriting. I screamed. No one heard. Then I remembered the mountain lodge. Stories break silence. I climbed out of the tunnel and grabbed a fallen microphone from the edge of the stage. My hands shook as I raised it. I spoke. I told them it was watching, that it learned through celebration, through shared meaning. I told them the angel was not protection, but a mirror for obedience. My voice cracked, echoed, distorted across speakers. The angel flickered. People looked at me, confused, angry, frightened. The pressure wavered. I kept talking. I told them to look away, to turn their backs, to stop filming. A few people did. The angel shuddered, Drones wobbled, screens glitched, security rushed toward me. Then something unexpected happened. A child laughed. Another joined. Someone booed the angel. The crowd fractured. The ritual broke. The angel screamed silently, light tearing itself apart. The projection collapsed. Screens went dark. Midnight passed unnoticed. I was tackled, dragged away, handcuffed. But as they pulled me through the crowd, I saw it. Above the broken tree, the sky was empty. No shape. No watching. For the first time on Christmas, nothing turned its head. They kept me overnight. A small concrete room, no windows, a camera in the corner that hummed softly. Someone brought me water and asked questions I did not answer. By morning, the charges were dropped. Public disturbance, mental health concerns. I was escorted out quietly through a side door before reporters arrived. The city moved on. The plaza reopened. The tree was dismantled. News anchors laughed nervously about a technical malfunction and a strange protest. People wanted a simple explanation. They always do. I left the city before sunset. Days passed. Nothing followed. No pressure. No flicker in reflections. No angels. For the first time since that first Christmas night, the silence felt real. I traveled without purpose. Buses, trains, long stretches on foot. I stopped avoiding crowds. I sat in diners and listened to conversations that had nothing to do with belief or symbols or safety. Life resumed its ordinary weight. Christmas ended. Decorations came down. Trees were dragged to curbs. Angels disappeared into boxes and attics. Winter deepened. I almost believed it was over. Then February came. I was in a small town waiting for a late bus. Snow fell lightly. The station was empty except for a vending machine and a television mounted high in the corner. The screen flickered. A news segment played. Researchers announced a new discovery. A pattern found in satellite imagery. A recurring formation in cloud systems across the globe. They showed an image. My breath caught. The clouds formed wings. A head turned. The reporter smiled, calling it a coincidence. A trick of perspective. People online joked, shared memes, laughed. I felt the familiar weight settle gently, not strong, not urgent, patient. I understood then. We had not destroyed it. We had taught it something dangerous, that it did not need Christmas. It did not need angels. It only needed patterns, something to be noticed. I stood and walked away from the screen. Outside, the snow fell thicker. In the distance, thunder rolled out of season. I pulled my coat tighter and kept moving, because now I knew the truth. As long as humanity looks for meaning in the sky, something will always learn how to look back. The story ends here. Thank you for watching and listening to the whole story. Please subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell to listen to the next stories.